All right, let's talk about trend lines. For so many traders, they're just a source of constant frustration. Well, today we are going to change that. We're going to take trendline trading out of the realm of guesswork and turn it into a science, a process you can actually repeat for success. Let's get right into it. So let me ask you something, and be honest. Does this sound familiar? You spot a trend, you draw this beautiful trend line, price breaks it, you jump in, and then bam, it whips right back around and stops you out. Why? Why does that keep happening?
The answer, and this is the core of the problem, is incredibly simple. It's because just drawing a line on a chart is not a trading strategy. It's just a line. And without a set of rules, without a real system behind it, you're basically just trading on hope. And let me tell you, hope is not a profitable trading plan.
Okay, so in this first part, let's really dig into why most traders fail with trend lines. It all boils down to not having a system and, frankly, not really understanding the market structure. But don't worry, we're about to fix all of that right now. I'm sure some of these mistakes hit a little too close to home, right? Just kind of drawing lines wherever they seem to fit, getting way too excited about a simple trendline break, and completely ignoring the major roadblocks on the chart. These are the classic traps that drain trading accounts. So if we want to get serious, if we want to trade like the pros, we need rules, non-negotiable rules. In this section, we're going to cover the 4 golden rules for drawing a valid trend line. This is the foundation for everything we're going to build. You have to follow these every single time. So rule 1, your line has to connect at least 2 swing points, 2 clear peaks or valleys. Rule 2, you start drawing from the very beginning of the trend on your chart. Rule 3, and this one's a big one, the angle has to be less than 45 degrees. And finally, rule 4, once you've drawn a valid line, that's it. You don't touch it, you don't adjust it, it's set in stone. Let's just pause on this one for a second because it's probably the most important and most ignored rule of them all. Look, if your trend line is steeper than 45 degrees, that's not a healthy, sustainable trend. That's a sign of panic buying or a bubble. It's unstable. And for this strategy, that means the line is completely invalid. We want to trade stability, not chaos. All right, so you've got the rules for drawing your lines. Now, let's add another critical piece to the puzzle. You see, the market is basically a map, defined by 2 different kinds of levels, static and dynamic. And you absolutely have to know the difference to find the best trading zones. So first up, we've got dynamic levels. These are the angled trend lines we've just been learning how to draw properly. The keyword here is dynamic because they move with the price. Just think of them as a sloping floor in an uptrend or a sloping ceiling in a downtrend. And then we have static levels. These are your classic horizontal support and resistance lines. They're based on old highs and lows, those obvious turning points in the market. The key here is static. They are fixed at a specific price, they don't move, they don't change, they're hard lines in the sand. So let's just put them side by side real quick. Static levels, they're horizontal and totally fixed. Dynamic levels, they're angled and they move right along with the price action. They're 2 totally different tools that help us map out the trading landscape. Okay, pay close attention because this is where the magic really happens. Now we're going to bring these 2 ideas together. This is the moment we stop trading like amateurs who just see one line and start thinking like professionals who know exactly where to look for the highest probability trades. Let's go back to that classic failure scenario. The trader sees the price dip just below their nice ascending trend line. They think, this is it, the trend is over. So they hit the sell button expecting a big drop. But then the price just laughs, turns around and rockets higher, leaving them with a loss. So what on earth just happened? Well, that trendline break was a trap, plain and simple. It was designed to fool retail traders. Because just underneath that break, there was a powerful, hidden, static support level. So while all the amateurs were busy selling the break of the dynamic line, the pros were patiently waiting to buy at the much stronger static level. So how do we avoid falling into that trap? The solution is to stop looking at these levels by themselves. We have to start looking for what's called the confluence zone. And trust me, this is the absolute key to the whole thing. And here it is. A confluence zone is that powerful spot on the chart where your dynamic trend line crosses a static horizontal level. Think about it. When 2 completely separate reasons for support or resistance all point to the very same area, that signal becomes so much stronger. That right there is our high probability zone. So for our last section, let's put it all together into a simple framework. This is how we're going to turn trading from a stressful guessing game into a confident, repeatable process that you can use over and over again. Here's your new game plan. It's 4 simple steps. Step 1, find your trend and draw a valid trend line using our 4 golden rules. Step 2, go and mark all the obvious horizontal static levels on your chart. Step 3, now you wait. You patiently wait for the price to come to a confluence zone where those 2 levels meet. And step 4, you only look for your trade entry signal inside that specific high probability zone. I really love this quote because it gets to the heart of the mindset shift we're talking about. See, amateurs are always guessing. They're hoping. A professional, on the other hand, has a system. They know exactly where they're looking to do business, and they have the patience to wait for the market to get there. And that's really what it's all about. The difference between a random line on a chart and a powerful trading strategy comes down to having rules and understanding the landscape. So let me just leave you with this one final thought. You now have the rules. The real question is, are you ready to play the game?